Just minutes ago, the WNBA was rocked by a decision so stunning, so completely unexpected, that it sent shockwaves across the entire sports world, leaving the league's brightest star, Caitlin Clark, reportedly speechless. Are you looking for the untold story behind the Indiana Fever coaching change and the real reason Stephanie White was removed for NBA legend Larry Bird? This wasn't a rumor. This was a ruthless, cold-blooded move that signals a seismic shift in women's basketball history. This isn't just about a coaching change. It's about a franchise gambling everything on a vision of greatness, and the entire world is watching to see if this audacious gamble pays off. The removal of Stephanie White wasn't a public firing. It was a clandestine, behind-the-scenes operation that unfolded with shocking speed and precision. The official announcement was thin, a few carefully worded sentences about parting ways that completely failed to capture the raw tension and mounting frustration that had reportedly been brewing for weeks within the organization. Whispers from sources close to the team suggest that the situation had become untenable, a perfect storm of clashing personalities, unfulfilled expectations, and a growing chasm of trust that had finally boiled over. The team's front office reportedly felt they had no choice but to act, a sentiment that had been simmering for months and was ready to explode, regardless of how it would be perceived by the public. At the heart of the alleged conflict was a fundamental disagreement over the team's direction, a stark contrast in philosophy between the coach and the management. Insiders claim that the front office had become increasingly concerned that White's coaching style, while respected, was not fully unleashing the generational talent they had on their roster. Her conservative approach, a focus on structured plays, and a slower pace, was reportedly seen as a hindrance, a chain holding back a team built for a more explosive, free-flowing game. The team's owners felt they had invested too much in their star player and the surrounding talent to let an outdated philosophy hold them back from their ultimate goals. And that feeling became the breaking point that led to the ruthless decision, and Caitlin Clark, the player at the center of this storm, was reportedly left completely blindsided and speechless. According to multiple sources, she was informed of the coaching change just minutes before the news broke to the public, a move that reportedly left her stunned by the suddenness and finality of it all. While many might interpret her silence as a sign of surprise or shock, insiders suggest it was more of a stunned realization of the cold, hard realities of professional sports. Her relationship with White was complex, a mixture of a veteran coach trying to guide a rookie superstar and a phenomenon who had her own ideas about how the team should operate. Her quiet reaction in the aftermath became the biggest headline of all, a vacuum of information that everyone was trying to fill with their own theories. The bombshell announcement was a carefully orchestrated play to not only remove a coach, but to install a name so powerful it would instantly command respect and attention. The hiring of Larry Bird is the kind of move that is unprecedented in the WNBA. Bird, a man who has been away from the daily grind for years, a basketball deity in the state of Indiana, is reportedly stepping back into the coaching spotlight. This isn't just about hiring a new voice. It's about bringing back a figure who embodies the very essence of Indiana basketball, a symbolic move designed to inspire a new generation of players and fans. This is a Hail Mary, a desperate gamble to salvage a season and a brand. A story so audacious it feels like something out of a Hollywood movie, but a reality that is now unfolding before our very eyes. But the question on everyone's mind is, why? Would Larry Bird of all people take on this monumental task? The reasons are as mysterious as they are intriguing. Rumors suggest that this wasn't just a simple job offer. It was a personal plea from the highest levels of the franchise, a call to a man who had dedicated his life to the sport in Indiana. Sources say that Bird was initially hesitant, but was persuaded by a vision of building a championship team around a player like Caitlin Clark, a talent so rare it might have been enough to tempt him out of retirement. The lure of working with a superstar and the chance to add another chapter to his already storied legacy was apparently too much to resist. The narrative presented to him was one of a partnership, not just a job, a chance to mold a dynasty and prove that his basketball genius transcends eras. The alleged friction between Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark, the real unspoken reason for the move, was reportedly more than a professional disagreement. Insiders claim it was a fundamental clash of leadership and style. White, a coach who believed in a team-first, structured approach, was reportedly at odds with Clark, a phenomenon with a global brand who was used to a system built around her unique abilities. The conflict became a source of daily tension, with the two reportedly unable to find common ground on how to best utilize Clark's talents while also building a cohesive team. This isn't something that was ever aired publicly, but behind the scenes, it was reportedly a major source of stress for everyone involved. A conflict that festered and grew until it became a ticking time bomb waiting for the inevitable explosion. Specific examples of the alleged strategic issues are now coming to light, painting a clearer picture of the turmoil behind the scenes. Reports from team practices and internal meetings suggest that White's system was seen as stifling, with a focus on half-court sets and a slower pace that some felt was not maximizing the speed and shooting ability of the roster, particularly of Clark. There were also said to be ongoing disputes about player rotation, with certain key players allegedly feeling they were being underutilized, a sentiment that reportedly created a quiet resentment within the locker room. The team's performance, which many felt was not living up to its potential, was seen as a direct consequence of these strategic choices. This wasn't a one-off issue. It was a systemic problem that reportedly left the front office with no other choice but to intervene in the most dramatic way possible. And the intervention was a truly stunning affair. Sources now allege that the plan to hire Larry Bird was not a rushed decision, but was months in the making, all orchestrated in a series of clandestine high-stakes meetings held in locations far from the public eye. These secret summits reportedly involved key members of the ownership group and, eventually, Bird himself. The conversations were said to be highly confidential, with a strict policy of need to know to prevent any leaks that could compromise the plan. The whole operation was executed with a level of precision and secrecy typically reserved for a corporate takeover, not a sports team's coaching change. This level of meticulous planning proves that this was not a spur-of-the-moment decision, but a calculated, deliberate move with far-reaching consequences that are only now beginning to become clear to the rest of the world. The financial fallout of this alleged move is equally mind-boggling, showing the sheer commitment of the franchise to its new direction. While the exact figures remain unconfirmed, industry insiders are speculating that Larry Bird was offered a contract of immense value, a deal so lucrative it would have been nearly impossible for him to turn down. This massive investment, reportedly, shows that the franchise is willing to spend whatever it takes to secure a winning future. The financial commitment to this new era of Fever basketball is absolutely staggering, and it's a clear signal to the rest of the league that the team is no longer willing to be an afterthought. This is a move of pure ambition, and it's clear they are betting the house on their new coach and their superstar player. The locker room's reaction to the news was, as you might expect, a mix of pure excitement and deep-seated loyalty. Some players, reportedly frustrated with the team's stagnant performance, are said to be thrilled by the prospect of learning from a legend like Larry Bird, seeing his arrival as a much-needed breath of fresh air and a chance to truly compete at the highest level. Others, who had built a strong rapport with Stephanie White, are reportedly feeling a sense of deep betrayal and sadness, mourning the loss of a coach they respected and admired. The dynamic within the team is now reportedly fractured, with two different camps forming, one that is ready to embrace the new era and one that is still processing the abrupt departure of their former leader. This internal tension is a new challenge that the team will have to navigate very carefully, as it could either galvanize them or tear them apart from the inside. But what about Caitlin Clark's alleged role in all of this? While she has remained publicly silent, Whispers in the league suggest her voice may have been a powerful, yet discreet factor in the decision-making process. It's been speculated that her feelings about the team's direction and her own development were given significant weight by the front office, and that her input, even if indirect, may have been a major catalyst for the change. This is a truly shocking accusation, as it paints a picture of a player with immense, almost unprecedented power in her first professional season. It raises a fascinating and controversial question. Is this the new reality of the WNBA, where a superstar's influence can single-handedly lead to a coaching change? The answer to that question could redefine the entire balance of power in professional. The locker room's reaction to the news was, as you might expect, a mix of pure excitement and deep-seated loyalty. Some players, reportedly frustrated with the team's stagnant performance, are said to be thrilled by the prospect of learning from a legend like Larry Bird, seeing his arrival as a much-needed breath of fresh air and a chance to truly compete at the highest level. Others, who had built a strong rapport with Stephanie White, are reportedly feeling a sense of deep betrayal and sadness, mourning the loss of a coach they respected and admired. The dynamic within the team is now reportedly fractured, with two different camps forming, one that is ready to embrace the new era, and one that is still processing the abrupt departure of their former leader. This internal tension is a new challenge that the team will have to navigate very carefully, as it could either galvanize them or tear them apart from the inside. But what about Caitlin Clark's alleged role in all of this? While she has remained publicly silent, whispers in the league suggest her voice may have been a powerful yet discreet factor in the decision-making process. It's been speculated that her feelings about the team's direction and her own development were given significant weight by the front office, and that her input, even if indirect, may have been a major catalyst for the change. This is a truly shocking accusation, as it paints a picture of a player with immense, almost unprecedented power in her first professional season. It raises a fascinating and controversial question. Is this the new reality of the WNBA, where a superstar's influence can single-handedly lead to a coaching change? The answer to that question could redefine the entire balance of power in professional sports for a long time to come. The WNBA community's reaction has been one of collective shock and bewilderment. Other coaches, players, and executives are reportedly stunned by the audacity of the move, with many questioning the ethics of the situation and the precedent it sets for the rest of the league. The general feeling is one of confusion and disbelief, as a living legend has been parachuted into a high-pressure situation, and a respected coach has been unceremoniously dismissed. The move has become the biggest talking point in the league, dominating conversations and news cycles, and has solidified the Indiana Fever's place at the center of the basketball world. The move has effectively become a chess move that has changed the entire board, and everyone is watching to see how the other pieces will respond to this massive, unprecedented shakeup. But the most compelling and unsettling part of this entire story is the alleged hidden motive behind the move. Was this truly about winning basketball games? Or was it about something much bigger, a calculated, cynical business decision? Speculation now abounds that the franchise saw a chance to capitalize on the global appeal of Caitlin Clark and the iconic status of Larry Bird, creating a super team brand that would generate unprecedented revenue and media attention. The narrative is that the team is no longer just about competing. It's about becoming a brand powerhouse, a marketing machine built around two of the biggest names in basketball history. If this is the case, it raises profound questions about the future of professional sports, where the lines between competition and commercialization are becoming increasingly blurred. This is a move that could redefine the entire sports landscape, as we know it, and the stakes could not be higher. And what about Stephanie White, a coach who, just a few days ago, seemed to be leading her team into a new and exciting era? Now she is the tragic casualty of this alleged power play, a talented coach who was reportedly unceremoniously cast aside in a brutal business decision. Her future career is now a major question mark, as she finds herself in the unenviable position of a coach who was reportedly pushed out for a legend, a scarlet letter that will follow her wherever she goes. This is the harsh reality of professional sports, where a person can go from being a respected leader to an outcast in a matter of hours, all for the sake of a team's ambition. So here we are, standing at the edge of history. The Indiana Fever no longer just a team chasing wins, but a franchise rewriting the rules of what women's basketball can be, with Caitlin Clark blazing trails as the face of a generation and Larry Bird stepping in as the ultimate symbol of championship, DNA. And whether this gamble becomes the greatest transformation the league has ever seen or a clash too bold to survive, one thing is undeniable. The WNBA has just entered a new chapter that will be remembered for years to come. Because this isn't simply about coaching, it's about legacy, power, and the collision of past and future. The question now turns to you. Do you believe this risky move will backfire spectacularly? Or will it reshape the Fever into an unstoppable dynasty? Let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And if you want to be the first to know what happens next in this unfolding drama, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for all the breaking news and untold stories.